Item 6.
Okay, under general business, item 6 is Magical Cruise Company Limited, Preferential Anchorage Access. With this item, we are asking council to authorize city manager to execute a term sheet with Magical Cruise Company Limited, DBA Disney Cruise Lines. And I would just like to comment that this request, the term sheet, sets forth really the parameters and what we're shooting for in ultimately bringing to council a port agreement. That port agreement will be the definitive agreement between the City of Avalon and Disney Cruise Lines. I am extremely excited that we are at this point, that I can announce that we're to a point with Disney to announce this proposal. I want to thank Jose Fernandez and Beth Thibodeau, who are both in the audience today, who I've been working with for quite some time on this, and really just to kind of hit the highlights of this. It's a 5-year agreement with 2 5-year mutual extensions. It allows Disney Cruise Lines to have a preferred schedule access to Tuesdays year-round and Saturdays from mid-September to mid-May. It provides a guarantee to the city, which we've never had before, of 120,000 passengers in a year that they're committing to. Whether they reach that number or not, they're financially committing to that number. In addition, in order to get this those preferred days and throughout the year, Disney is committed to paying, in addition to the $7.50 wharfage, which will be January 1st of 2026 is what it'll be. They're going to pay an extra $1.50, making it $9 per passenger for the Disney passengers under this, with a 2.5% annual adjustment going forward. The anticipated number of voyages to the city is between 50 and 60 a year. Those cruise ships will have anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 passengers on them per year. So this, in addition, we have additional support that Disney's committing to providing design and engineering services, industrial engineering services, which will certainly benefit the city as we head into this mole project, and also quality guest service training and operational efficiency training, which will benefit many of our businesses in town and will be available to all of them. I believe that this partnership is so important and beneficial to the city for a number of reasons, because as we look at where we're at with cruise ships, number one, we know they're critical to the revenue stream for mainly the harbor, but definitely the city. This provides security for us for 5 years with those additional extensions, with that guarantee that we know we can plan in the future and plan for these capital projects. The majority of the visitors are not during the summer months. It's bunched into the shoulder seasons in the winter, which is another common comment that I've heard. The ships are smaller because that's Disney's model. It's not to go bigger. They have no intention at this time through the terms of that to go bigger. And this will not, the idea of this is not to increase the overall number of cruise ships we see in a year. We've been between 115 to 120. We expect ultimately that's still where we're going to lie. It is simply to shift who we're partnering with and how many trips we're partnering with in a manner that both is beneficial to the city, the community, and provides us that security. This will decrease the overall number of passengers that come to the city on cruise ships. Now, the financial sting of that has been balanced a little bit by the increased wharfage that they'll pay. But also, I want to point out that this isn't necessarily a financial move by the city. This is a move that is beneficial, I believe, just from a life quality standpoint of the size of the ships and the number of ships that we have here. I think this long-term partnership with a company that's aligned with our beliefs and concerns as a city makes a tremendous amount of sense. So again, I just want to thank Jose and Beth that are here, and if anybody has any questions of either me or them, we're more than happy to answer them.
We would like the two of you to come up and kind of introduce yourself and say a couple of things. Jose and Beth, both of you. You're two arms of the industry, so you should be up here as well. Thank you.
Mayor Marshall, members of the City Council, City Manager, we just want to say on behalf of Disney Cruise Line, thank you for this opportunity and thank you for considering this agenda item. Although our relationship with the City of Avalon has not been that long, in the few years that we have been visiting it's quickly become a guest favorite, as well as a favorite for our crew members who do get the opportunity to get off when we're in port and take a little bit of a break from the normal day-to-day operation. As we're growing our fleet, we have greater flexibility from a deployment standpoint, and Catalina and Avalon were one of the destinations that we identified as critically important to our future growth. And we are just as excited to be here today. And we cannot thank you enough. We cannot thank City Manager Maestros enough for his partnership and support throughout the process. And we're looking forward to a very bright and fruitful future.
Yeah. Put the microphone down for her, please.
No, again, I just want to reiterate Jose's comments. We are very excited to move forward, to look at those community partnerships as well. So looking forward to the next 5 years.
Great. Thank you, Joe. This is awesome.
And one thing I forgot to add,
Jim.
yeah, just real quick, one thing I forgot to add is that the terms of this, because of the industry and the scheduling and bookings, it's scheduled to start in September of 2027. So we have a run up there, and we're gonna, this relationship as we work up to there, that if approved by council, we'll have the final agreement brought to you hopefully shortly, but it'll really go into effect earnest in September 27.
Jim, we want to thank you too.
Well, thank you too for being open to this opportunity, and I'd just like to share with you and some members of the community a few more benefits of this future relationship. Disney has been has really gone out over the top in engaging multiple levels of tour operators. It's not just the 2 or 3 big operators. They're working with some of our smallest operators, and so there's diversity of product and diversity of spreading that wealth. They're willing to continue growing in that regard. We had a conversation earlier today about some brand new opportunities where they can maybe build relationships as well. Our retailers will tell you that the Disney cruise ship days are always some of their best days, so that'll be even better for our sales tax and for our economy in that measure as well. And as was alluded to, my term of art in my notes for it is customer service training. But Disney Institute being the flavor of what we want to bring forward to our retail frontline service and so on. So that's an opportunity I'm very much looking forward to working with them on, because that will benefit us not only on Disney cruise days, but on every day that our visitors are here and engaging with our shop owners and operators. But most importantly, if it's not obvious on its face, the brand affinity for Disney, it's actually like having a badge of honor on our community, that we're a place that even a visitor who comes here on a Disney cruise day, who's not on the cruise ship, is going to hear "When You Wish Upon a Star." At the end of the day, they're going to see that beautiful ship in the harbor, and it's just sort of a cherry on top, I would say. So,
Yes.
just wanted
thank you.
to share
I know
those
you were
points.
working with him for a long time.
Yeah, in case he's watching, I should acknowledge David Cree, who had these conversations over 20 years ago. And I did text him today to remind him that we were on the agenda tonight. So I think he's probably watching, and we have a debt of gratitude to him, of course. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, does anybody want to make some comments? Jenny was sitting at home, and all of a sudden said, "Cruise ship," and she got in her car and she ran up there.
And I missed some. So is this considered a trade that we're doing, or are we staying on the original schedule of the 3 days, no weekends?
Nothing regarding this will change that original ordinance that's still out there
Okay.
of 3 cruise ships in a week and no weekends in the summer.
And so Disney doesn't replace one?
Well, ultimately, yes. I mean, like I said, I expect that our total number of cruise ships is not going to increase. That our expectation
So
is
you
still
still have the frenzy coming?
well, for the next, I would say 24 months, this Firenze is scheduled here that's already been approved. But going forward, there's going to be, there's only limited days in a week. So if we have commitment, a 5-year commitment with one cruise line for specific days of the week, it takes those out of play for other cruise lines.
So I don't understand then, when does the Disney ship, is it scheduled out of that week?
They have they have Tuesdays and Saturdays between September and May.
Between September and May. Okay, so winter months on weekends.
Correct.
That is certainly a step in the right direction, I think, but the size still bothers me of the Preferential, and the fact that it completely overwhelms the town in a very short period of time. And I hear nothing but complaints about it.
Well, that is a different issue than what we're talking about now.
Why?
Because we're talking about Disney right now, and this is what the agenda item is. Yes, there are complaints about the Preferential and those kinds of things. I don't even know if you want to address that, how those things are addressed, or is there a better time?
Well, no. I think anytime without question, we have to address those concerns and those issues while they're scheduled here. But, the point being, I guess, this commitment and partnership between the city and Disney takes preferred days out of the week. So is that going to impact other cruise partners? Yes. And we'll address that going forward. But right now, because of the cruise ship industry scheduling these cruise ships, the Preferential will be coming here as far as what's currently on the book for the next short period of time. But we'll have to address that of whether or not the city wants to continue to go forward with it, because that size of ship, yes, has been impactful to the community, and we have to address that.
Mm-hmm. In the original talks that we had, we were going to check the use of city services and everything from the water usage to sewage and trash, but I don't think that study was ever carried forth because of COVID or something.
Well, we've done some of those studies, and I think the way it was most recently left by council is that we review that every other year and present that to council as far as the impact and the financial impact when we review the wharfage fees.
Every year.
I'm trying to think whether it was every other September or every September.
The reporting is done by the finance director and harbor master regarding impacts on an annual basis, but the resolution is only brought forth for reconsideration every 2 years.
Okay.
And Janny, just so you know, the 2 Disney ships that are coming here, I don't know if you heard it at home, but 2,500 and 2,700, and they're committed not to go over 3,000. Yeah. So they're not going to bring another Preferential into the picture.
So those 2 ships is one Preferential.
Right, pretty much.
Really? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out. Okay. Comments, questions?
My main comment is just, I think part of the instability previously was that no cruise ship company was ever willing to sign an agreement like this with the city. And it always meant that the financial aspects that are beneficial to the city and the community were always potentially something that could be pulled. Yeah. The fact that this agreement hopefully will go into place means that that money is not only guaranteed, but it also gives both Disney and us a reason to invest in the relationship together and the community together. And I think that's amazing. So I'm excited. I'm hoping that other cruise ship companies will follow suit. I think it means we're on a more stable landing when it comes to being able to fund the harbor and do projects in the harbor as well. So, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Then I will make a motion to authorize the city manager to execute a term sheet with Magical Cruise Company LTD, doing business as Disney Cruise Lines. Authorize the city manager to negotiate a port agreement with Magical Cruise Company Limited doing business as Disney Cruise Lines based on the term sheet forth in the approved term sheet.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Moved in second? Yeah. Okay, call for the vote.
All ayes.
All right, proceed. This is exciting for Avalon. Thank you so much. And Dave, thank you so much. Yeah, good job.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay,
Let's see, item 7, patrol boat 4.